Welcome to Bird Fans Forever podcast number 70, the podcast for true Illinois State Redbird fans, where we spotlight the athletes, the grit, and the pride that make ISU soar. Today we're flipping the spotlight onto Redbird Gymnastics with not one, not two, but three incredible gymnasts joining us: Alana Laster, Jaye Mack, and Sara Wabi. These athletes bring power, precision, and passion to every meet, and today we're diving into their journeys, their favorite events, and what it means to represent Redbird Nation. So whether you're a lifelong fan or new to the world of gymnastics, you're in for something special. Let's stick the landing. This is Bird Fans Forever. Welcome to Bird Fans Forever. This is episode 70, and we have our gymnastics guests today, and we have Jaye Mack. I got one right. Alana Laster. Yes, I got two right. And Sara Wabi.
Perfect.
All right.
Off air, I was struggling. These ladies laughed at me, so I really appreciate it. Welcome, ladies, to the show.
Thanks
for having us.
And congratulations on the NCAA. We're going to get that right out of the bat. Going to the NCAA, that's just huge, right? And so, love it. So, all right. So, we always start the episode by how you kind of got to ISU. So, you're going to talk about your recruiting process. And we're going to start with Jaye first. So, how did you get to ISU?
Yeah, so I think I could probably speak for a lot of us. Recruiting was rough. It was interesting, and it was very difficult. I think I didn't really peak in my gymnastics career until my senior year of high school. And for most gymnasts, around when we first started recruiting, they're recruiting in 8th grade, and I just wasn't there yet. And so,
wait, 8th grade?
8th grade, yeah. And recently, in the last couple of years, the rules have changed, and now you have to wait till June 15th, I think, of your junior year. But, it was happening so much sooner, for us. And so I didn't really have, a lot of schools reaching out to me and things like that. But I went to a camp, and one of the assistant coaches that's no longer here anymore, he kind of reached out and was like, hey, this is ISU, come give us a shot. And, I kind of had the opportunity to maybe walk on at a bigger program or kind of come to ISU and make a name for myself. And that's kind of what led me here. And also, when I stepped foot on campus, it just felt like home, like a community. I really loved the girls and the family here. So that's really what made it stick. But, yeah.
All right, Sara.
I kind of had the same kind of process as Jaye. So when we were seniors, obviously COVID happened, and it made it really hard for us to visit other schools. But being from Chicago, ISU is only 2 hours away for me. So I came with my parents, and this is kind of at the time I was talking to the assistant who is no longer here anymore. But we kind of met up. We had just little things. He showed us everything that he could have, since it was that time that was kind of weird. And yeah, it was close to home. The coaches, the team, everyone made it feel like home. So yeah, that's kind of how I ended up here.
Lana?
I would say my experience was definitely kind of similar. I didn't really have much as far as schools reaching out, and I kind of just trusted the process and hoped that something would work. And the assistant coach that's no longer here DM'd me on Instagram and was like, hey, you should come here. It's a great place. And I was a little skeptical at first. I was like, I don't know if I really want to go that far. And I never actually visited the school. I just blindly committed. So
You never visited the school?
I never visited.
You live in Florida, right?
Yes.
So it was the snow that drew you here?
I really wish it was.
The freezing cold coming across when you're walking by Schrader Hall? I mean, come on.
So I already can tell you guys are, you sound like you guys are a lot of fun and tight-knit, and I'm going to give you some props. You guys on social media, of all the ISU teams, you guys take the best photos and stuff like that. Just when a team tries. Yeah. So what makes you guys so close? And I mean, your personalities come out on that social media.
I would say, I think, we naturally, kind of do spend a lot of time together already. We're practicing 20 hours a week. We're having team meetings, but we also do lots of informal team bonding things. we'll go bowling. Or I remember when you first started this year, we kind of invited the whole team over, did like a senior brunch. So just kind of taking those little opportunities to just like spend time with each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I think another thing is obviously gymnastics is a very small sport. Like there's only 20 of us on the team, so it's kind of hard for people to separate. So I think that kind of helps us too, just knowing like we're all together, we see each other all the time, we live together.
Yeah.
Like it's all just very close knit everywhere here.
I feel like also like a lot of us live close enough together, so like I can walk to them, they can walk to me, and it's like we'll do a lot of things that a lot of us enjoy. So like sometimes we'll go in like groups and like do different things and hang out. So like sometimes like a group of us will go to dinner and like a different group will go to breakfast with each other, or like we'll all go shopping together. It's so different, like small little things, but I love it.
So I have a theory that, okay, like when you guys are doing your routines, don't you have to be like really expressive and stuff like that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so it comes out, right? So like the basketball team, when they get expressive on the basketball court, the referees tee them up, okay? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Where in your sport, you guys have to be expressive.
Yeah.
That's part of it. And I don't know, it comes out in the social media. I think so.
I think it makes for the best pictures.
It
They look
really
crazy,
does.
but it makes for the best.
Sometimes those pictures are really wild, but we'll get a good one.
Yeah.
Every so
So,
often.
so who's best at, okay, there's always someone on the team, right? And I've seen this with my girls, like there's someone in the group that's always like, okay, you guys got to line up like this, you guys got to do that. Like who's that on your team?
Like the organizer, kind of.
The organizer of the pictures, or
Well,
like
of the
trying to get
pictures.
the trying to
One
get
of
the
the-
best shot always.
Yeah.
One of our teammates has like a camera, and so almost every meet she brought it. And before the meet, we're taking pictures. Like right up until we're about to warm up, we're taking pictures. In the hotel, we're taking pictures. When we go out to dinner, we're probably taking pictures. So
Yeah.
I would probably say her. Her name is Mia, and she runs that.
Yeah. No, that's cool. And I noticed that too. It's like you guys are like sometimes, like, I swear to God, it was like right up to meets, you guys were taking pictures. I was like, did they ever put,
Yeah.
when did they put their game faces on? It's like,
Yeah, it's a long meet, so
It is.
you got to do something.
Yeah.
Have some fun.
yeah. So, hey, so you guys had a really great year, right? And you guys won conference 2 out of the last 3 years.
Yep.
So you guys had probably, like, from compared to all the other years, probably enjoyed more success, in a short time than in the history of ISU. So tell us about that. Like, how's it feel, like, being seniors, coming in, the program goes up, you hit 2 out of 3 years, winning the conference, and leaving that.
Yeah, it feels awesome. Like, so we have the seniors call ourselves the Fab Five. I had to shout us out.
Of course.
But from the moment we kind of came on campus as freshmen, we had this goal that we were going to win conference every single year. And we did that 2 out of the 4 years. So I think, like, just us coming in, we kind of had a new mindset every year that we are going to do everything we can as a class along with everybody else to kind of help us reach that goal. So yeah, it was very special, especially this last year. So
Yeah, I think this last year, I think even before it happened, I was like 2025 was going to be special, I mean, I was graduating, but also just something about it was different. And I think that really like showed up, like we won conference, we were able to make regionals like that. It was just a really special year. And I think a lot of it does come from how close-knit we were as a team. I think this is one of the closest teams that I've been a part of, and I think that kind of contributed to a lot of the success.
I feel like after junior year, like we know what it felt like to lose. And it was just like, we never want to feel that feeling again. That's the last time that's ever happening. And we came in senior year and we were like, here's all the things that we want to do better individually that can help us as a team, which definitely in the end helped. But it really did start with like our class trying to figure out what we could do better individually and then what the team could do.
So gymnastics, it's kind of like, it's an individual sport, but it's a team sport, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And each of you have to perform individually, and sometimes that's a lot of pressure, right? Because there's not a teammate out there that's going to bail you out, right?
Yeah.
You get out there and it's you at the moment, but don't talk about the individual part, but talk about like how does being part of a team help you when you're performing individually?
I would say, like, a lot of the times we do, cheer for each other. I think that's something that's really unique and special to gymnastics. And, sometimes at other games you'll hear whenever they, hit a free throw or whatever, the crowd will erupt and your teammates will cheer. But in gymnastics, you kind of have your teammates almost coaching you through the routine and kind of giving you those, like, keywords, those extra things of encouragement. And I think that's really helpful. I think sometimes too, but specifically like when you're on the equipment, you kind of have to just focus on yourself. When you start thinking about the team and, oh my gosh, Sarah before me and other things, or Sarah's after me, that kind of messes you up. You have to be very like lasered focused when you're going.
Yeah, it kind of ties into gymnastics being like a very strong mental game. And like, say you could be in your head about one thing, but your team is there to lift you up and like help you, encourage you, as Jay said. Like, having the team like makes you a better version for yourself for the team. So it's kind of like a full circle moment with that.
I feel like the team is always going to have your back. So it's like, I think I'm doing everything for myself as like just mentally doing gymnastics, but I also know that my teammates have my back. They're there for me for whatever the circumstances, whether it's gymnastics related or not. I know that like my team will be there for me, so it's not as hard all the time thinking like it's just me, because you have a group of 19 other people behind you, which makes you feel more like safe and confident and secure.
All right, ladies. Right, we were talking off air. As you're coming down and everybody's finishing their events, you don't quite know what the total score is and if you have it done. So what is that nerve-wracking process like? And walk us through those last couple minutes of a meet until you know you've been crowned champion. So
Yeah, I think it's just like you feel every emotion that you could ever think you have. This year it was a little different for us because one of our rivals, Texas Women's, they kind of had a not as good of an event. I think it was their second rotation or their third. I don't remember which one it was. But they had the scores up on the screen, so we kind of knew that we were going to win it this year. But I think this year, like, the big thing for us was reaching that 196 goal mark that we have. And I think, like, just leading up to that, it's very special. Like, everybody is just together. Like, there's not one person who is, like, so focused on winning. It's more just, like, so focused on doing our best, hitting our goals. Like, obviously, we want to win conference. That's a given. But then if we look back at 2023, that one was kind of like a blind win for us. They turned the scores off in the last event, and we were looking at our parents during the award ceremony, and they were just doing this the whole time. So it was like we didn't really know that we won, but it was like it's just so special to have those moments of like anxiety, but also immense joy because you know you just did the best you could. Like you worked so hard all season for this moment, and it's finally there. So it's like undescribable in a way.
I think, kind of going off of that, this conference was so special because we all had literally put it all out there. We knew that that was the best that we could do in that moment, and it kind of showed up. But I think, you kind of have a mental note of the scores in your head. Like, I know if I get a 9.8 and my teammate gets a 9.8, we'll get a 49, and that'll get us to the 196, and that's kind of what we're reaching for. So I think you kind of know if you're going to win kind of at that last routine, but definitely you don't know until the final score sort of flashes. So it's like she said, it's such a special moment, so much anxiety, excitement, joy. I think we were all just so emotional. I remember just bawling, crying because I was like, no way we had done that. We had set out to do that. And I think conference is so special because the other meets, it's kind of different than other sports. Obviously, everyone wants to win, but like our main goal and most of our competitions is a score. We want to reach that 196 threshold, even if if we're going against, the top school, we just want to get a 196. We're not really going out to come out number one. But conference is a little different. We want to get the 196 and we want to win. So I think there's a little bit more pressure with that. And it's just, those moments are just incredible.
Yeah, I feel like to go off of that, we really worked on like just competing as one and not so much worrying about like everyone kind of doing their own thing and competing how they do. So like really competing as one really helped us like reach our goal of like what we wanted to achieve. And it was definitely very emotional, I would say. I mean, I didn't cry, but it was really fun and exciting, and I was just jumping the whole time, screaming and like laughing.
Yeah.
But
Screaming, crying, yelling on the floor. I was on the floor, literally crawling on the floor. But yeah, and also like I can just remember so many moments where I'm like counting it on my fingers to see if I can do the mental math, before that final score kind of flashes. Like, what do we need? Okay, we need a 98.2, like whatever, 98275 to get to that score. So I'm like literally counting it up. I'm running back and forth, and we kind of keep like a clipboard of all the scores that we have, like each meet. And like from each event, and so we're like literally tallying, like, is it enough? Is it enough? Is it enough? To get that 186, and then is it enough to win?
Yeah.
I feel like, sorry.
Go ahead.
I feel like usually during like the meet, we're kind of like doing the mental math already, but I feel like since it was conference, it was so much more mental math. Whereas we're like actually watching the scores, but trying to focus on competing and trying to focus on the team. But there's so much to it where we're like just like overwhelmed a little bit, but we're having fun with it.
Yeah.
So like conference this year, we really like kind of did the mental math, because when we won 2 years ago, we weren't really worried anymore because we had nothing to be worried about because we couldn't see the scores to do the math.
Yeah.
And all we were relying on was our parents' reaction the whole time, and they were screaming and hollering. So we're like, okay, maybe we won, and then they said it, and we're like, okay, well, I guess they were right. But we based their reaction off of it 2 years ago, and this year we kind of did the math.
Right.
Yeah. And also too, I think there's some of our teammates and gymnasts everywhere that don't want to look at the scores at all. Like they don't look at the score after they compete. They don't want to know because that can get into your head. But I'm different. I need to know exactly. I need to know what that's one said, that's what you said. Like I just gotta know for myself. So yeah.
Yes. Same.
Okay, so talk about scoring. Let's say you're doing a routine, right? And you do whatever it is, a great vault. You stick it. You just gotta like do the microphone drop and go, that's a 9.9. Like in your head, you're like, that's a 9.9. And then you look at the judge, and then the Eastern European judge is there, and you get 9.8, and you're like, what the hell happened? I just want to know, because like in basketball, you make a free throw, you get 1 point, right? And like I watch on TV, I'm like, I don't understand what happened. This one versus that.
Yeah, I think
that happens more often than not.
Oh my gosh. And I think this year too, there was a little bit of like, each year the judges come out with like new rules, and so scoring will change. And I think in recent years they've said that there's too many 10s going on, so they kind of crack down, like, okay, we need to take a little bit more deduction here. And I think that was really reflected this season. I think kind of specifically like for regionals, for me, my vault, I remember sticking it. I was like, I think that was the best vault I've ever done in my entire life. And I was like looking at the judge, I was like, okay, like, the 995 is gonna flash, and it didn't. And you're like, oh, like, well, what happened? What happened? But yeah, I think you just have to be in those moments just like proud of what you do. You can't control the judges, you can't control the score. So it's like, okay, I'm just happy I did the best I could.
Right. It's a little disappointing, but there's always next meet. It always, it's like sometimes you can walk into the meet and be like, oh yeah, the scores are not going to be as good today.
Yeah.
Like, you know the
know.
judges, and you know, like, everything. So,
yeah.
I don't know that,
I think, too, something to add, and it's a little, controversial, but there is a little bit of scoring discrepancy in NCAA when you're in the top 10 schools versus not. That's just kind of what makes our sport unique and special, but there is bias. We're humans, the judges are humans, and so, when you see an Olympian in front of you, you want to score them maybe a little higher, or their form just might look a little bit better, but we don't kind of get that same treatment. So that's kind of like what you're saying when you step into some meets. You're like, okay, this is just, it's not going to be the one for us. All we got to do is try our best and have fun.
I feel like at that point we just forget about like whatever scores we get. We're just there to have fun because we kind of already know how it's going to go. But now that they like tried to crack down on like all the scoring this year and giving less tens, it kind of resulted in a lot of backlash again, where they like want the judges to give more tens, or they gave tens that should not have been tens. So it's like kind of a lose-lose situation with the judges. It's like you can't have the best of both worlds.
There's like a joke we used to make all the time, like going back to Jay's vault. Like that was seriously the best vault I've ever seen.
Thank you.
And we're like, man, it's because of Leo. If she had like a top 10 leotard on, it would have been a night.
And that happened.
We used to make that joke a lot.
Sarah's
like,
too.
it's a
Sarah's bar
leotard.
team was incredible, like incredible. But
It just happens to.
maybe if it was blue.
Right.
So, like three of you making it to regionals all at the same time. That's like awesome. So, let's not talk about the meet, but like, what stories and fun times did you guys just have by, the experience, the three of you guys going to Seattle together and competing in the regionals?
Well, it was my first time making it to regionals, and at conference when we were doing awards, Jay was like, Sarah, I'm pretty sure you made it. I'm like, no, I did not. I did not believe it until I saw my name on the TV. But just like the whole regionals experience, it's something that I've never like imagined in my life ever. Like Jay and Lonnie, since they've made it in previous years, they were always like, this is something that is so out of this world. Like it is an opportunity that you just feel blessed, honestly. Like you are with the quote-unquote best of the best girls in the nation like in this one place. So just like being with them, being with our families, it was honestly the best way I could have ended my senior year.
Yeah. It honestly like gives me chills thinking about it. Like it's just such a special place and special moment that not everyone gets to experience. It's incredible.
I feel like a lot of the girls that we like idolize in the sport that still go to college that are just like us are there with you, and it's kind of like you're fangirling like the whole time. But then you have to also like remember that like you're good because you're there, like you're just as good as they are, and like it's such a great experience to like just see like different things going on and like being with family and like each other. Like it was just amazing, and I really took it all in.
I wish I
So
could
now
do
when
that.
they announce, I've seen the pictures of you guys as they're getting to announce. Do they have different regionals? How does that work for the women's or for gymnastics?
Yeah,
Walk us
so
through that.
there's like 4 main regional sites,
Okay.
and it's very, very complicated how like it's split up and how you kind of go. And the individuals is kind of decided. It's supposed to be decided on like where you are, but somehow we got shipped to Seattle, which was incredible. I'm not complaining at all, but it just kind of there's 4 main sites, and usually like the top whatever will host, and that's kind of how it goes. But yeah,
Okay,
I think.
keep going.
Oh, I was just kind of talking about the experience and being there and kind of being like just with some of the best is really, I don't know, it's hard to describe.
It's like something you've never thought you could have felt.
I think I experienced kind of like a lot of imposter syndrome, and I think even telling Sarah like you made it there, like she didn't even want to believe me, but I had to tell her, and it's just so awesome. I think not even just competing, but being in an atmosphere like at a school like University of Washington and seeing all of the resources that they have, being able to, it's just incredible. Even the coaches, you fangirl over not just the gymnasts, but some of those coaches have coached Olympians, they've coached Simone Biles, they've coached all of the greats. So I think that kind of goes into it too.
All right, so walk us through. You get announced, right? You know you're going to Seattle. So how does that lead up, right? How quickly is that a turnaround that you guys got to start traveling? I mean, do you have a couple of days? What's the workouts like during that time? That kind of thing. Anyone of the three, you can jump in here.
Yeah, we found out on, what was it, like a Monday?
I think so,
I think it was a Monday, and immediately we were back in the gym. We had, I want to say, was it 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks before we had to leave for Seattle.
Very cool. Okay, 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we were in the gym.
Now, is it the 3 of you, or is all 20 of you still together at this point?
It was just the three of us,
Oh,
because
three of us, okay.
after conference, they get a mandatory week off. So when we
Oh,
started
really?
training
Okay.
again, yeah, when we started training again, that was their mandatory week off. So it was just us three in the gym, and then they would come in and support us. But then the following week, when it was time to go, we had, I think, Monday, Tuesday practice, and then left on Wednesday.
Okay.
So it's like very quick. The team still comes, but I think it was more fun with just the three of us, because it's just like the events you need to do. So
Yeah, it's definitely like kind of a unique time, because you're only like when you're only training vault and floor. You know, she's only training bars, and so you kind of really get to like hone in on that event. And you know, that can be good or bad, but you know, you do a little extra drills or a little extra details, which is really special.
You guys were close as a team, though, right? I think you were 40th in the top 36 go. It was like really close.
very close.
Very close. I think
Yes.
right after conference, we had moved to the top 36 spots. So like right after our meet, we were technically making it. But then other schools, after they competed, they kind of bumped us out. But I think that's the closest we've been in like 20 years.
Yes,
So
like
yeah.
in a while.
But
Okay,
is
so
that
what
hard? Because like you got one judge in Louisiana judging you one way, right? And there's a conference over here.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
It's like hard to wrap your head around. It's just like, you're like, oh man, what if we were in a different conference, or what if we were at a different school, or what if we had a different colored leotard on? Like it's
And what's crazy is like what separates us from like 40 to that 36 is like a 10,
Yeah.
which realistically is like a hop. It's like if one more person, you know, that was competing, if I had competed a couple meets ago and not taken that one step, that could have maybe made us in. It's really, it's so crazy. It comes down to it.
It is crazy.
Okay,
Like
so
good times.
talk about, so now you're heading to Seattle, right? Does that mean it's just you and one coach, you and two coaches? What's your entourage look like? And are you guys going over to Bloomington Normal to fly up Chicago to Chicago out? Is that kind of how that worked?
Yeah, so we had us three plus our three coaches and our trainer, and we
Okay.
we flew from Bloomington to Dallas, Fort Worth. That was the longest
Hey.
travel day ever.
Hold
It
on.
was-
Who made your travel plans directionally? That doesn't makes no sense.
oh my gosh.
Actually,
I
Steve,
think
it
we
does
have
out of Bloomington.
I think
There's 3 different flights out of Bloomington. We're not going to get into it. Steve lives in Chicago.
I travel to
Understand.
Seattle every month. There's
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy.
The problem is that flight out from Bloomington, we're going to cut this crap out. The flight from Chicago, Bloomington to Chicago gets canceled 50% of the freaking time. I'm going
Yeah.
to Miami, and I'm going through Dallas coming out of here. That's just
Yeah.
the way it works.
Not if I'm going to Seattle on that.
Yeah, shut up. You're in Chicago. All right, ladies, let's get back to it. So what happened? You fly into Fort Worth, you bad travel?
Yes.
For what?
Our flight got delayed. We were supposed to leave here at 6 in the morning, and our flight got delayed in Bloomington, which made us miss our connecting flight in Dallas. And then we couldn't get another flight for 4 hours, or 6 hours,
was a
I
long
think.
time, yeah.
And we had to sit in the airport for 6 hours, and then still do like the 4-hour flight to Seattle.
Seattle,
So we
yeah.
didn't actually make it to Seattle until like 10
was
p.m.
so late.
Everything, like our
close.
food orders, everything got pushed back. It was insane.
Which is like midnight's 2 hours
Yeah.
behind,
Yes.
right? Yes.
And we had been up since like 3, 4.
Yes.
I was very
Right, because
tired.
you got to get there early to catch the flight. Yeah. Okay, so you get to Seattle. What's the next day like, right? As you're getting ready for the meet, right? Are you guys getting up? I'm assuming you're doing the whole stretching and doing that stuff with your trainer, right? Talk about that stuff, right?
Yeah, so kind of, I think we competed the next day after we got
Yeah.
there, and
So you get there at midnight and you got to compete the next day.
compete the next day,
Yes.
which thankfully the meet didn't start till like 1 or something like
Yeah.
that, so we had some time. But like for gymnastics meets, you know, we get there probably 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4 hours before the meet actually begins, because we get there, we do like our warm-up stretch, and then we touch each event for like 15 minutes, and then you'll go back and then you re-warm up again right before you compete. So we're there a little bit extra earlier kind of
Right.
than everyone else. Yeah.
Now, are you getting taped? I'm assuming you're getting taped like we did.
Yeah.
So you're getting taped at the hotel, so you're going over dressed and ready, right?
Well,
Yeah.
You
we
guys
get
there and tape there and dress there, right?
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
we have like travel apparel, so we go from the hotel to the arena and whatever we pick out. Then we like go into the locker room, we change into our warm-up leotards and then our warm-up clothes, and that's when we get taped and everything. And usually like during this time right before the stretch, we do like kind of our visuals of our events, so we just walk through each event. But during regionals, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, I found that one out the hard
And
way.
Jay got yelled at for it.
Very strict.
It was very
Yeah,
strict.
they're so strict during the NCAA time. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So Sarah, we talked about this a little bit earlier. You were at ISU for 4 years, and this is your first trip to the regionals. Just talk about like your experience, okay, and about like staying persistent and getting that dream, building it up and then getting that dream. Like not just that moment like when it got announced, but like going into this senior year, your fourth year, and wanting to reach that goal.
Yeah, so before I even started this year, I told my parents, I was like, this is my last year. Like, I'm just going to have fun, do my best, and go out with a bang. So when Jay told me at conference, she was like, no, Sarah, you made it. Like, I had that imposter syndrome that she was talking about. Like, no, I did not. Like, there's so many girls that are much better than I am. And then when I finally saw my name on the TV, it was like a bittersweet moment. Like, everything has come together the way it was supposed to. And I think it kind of tied in to me telling my parents I was going to go out with a bang, because it did happen. Like, regionals is exactly the end goal. Well, I mean, nationals is, but like for us not making it as a team and things like that, like this is one of the bigger moments in your gymnastics career. And it being my first time in senior year, I think it just made it like that much more special that this is how I was able to go out at ISU.
So fast forward, you're sitting in Seattle, right? And the bars are sitting in front of you, okay? And you're about ready to go. What's going through your mind at that moment?
I'm gonna be honest, I blacked out. I barely remember my bar routine. Like, I remember like looking at the bar and being like, okay, here we go. And then I remember I heard our teammates that came from ISU and they were there to support. I just remember hearing their voices the moment I jumped onto the bar. So I don't remember the rest of the routine, but I remember finishing it.
It was gorgeous. It was beautiful.
Did your parents record it for you?
Yeah, well, my cousins came too, so they recorded it. I don't think my mom can't watch. She can't watch bars or beam, so she didn't watch. She just watched the video after. But my dad is like sitting there with the flag. Everybody can hear him. He watches.
So I don't know if this is true or not, but of the events, is bars your favorite? And then
Yeah.
what's not your favorite one?
Vault.
Ball.
Yeah. I just started doing it again this year. This was my first year back. I didn't do it since my senior year of high school.
She was amazing at it
So,
too.
I hate
Crazy,
vault.
crazy to retire.
Oh,
in
wait,
it.
hold on now. Why do you hate it?
I came in to ISU freshman year, and the first vault I did, I landed on my face. And I was like, I am never doing this again. And then it got to like my sophomore year after I had surgery, and then it was around my birthday, and I was like, for my birthday every year, why not just do a vault? So I did one vault every year until senior year, and then I just kept going this year.
So you seriously did one vault each year? That was it?
One day of vault a year.
Just think what would have happened if you'd done two.
Yeah, it happened this year.
No, that's awesome. So Lana, like you had a remarkable career, like 3 times to regionals, right? 2 different
Yes.
events. Yeah, so that's remarkable. But talk about like your journey at ISU and what was like the biggest thing growth-wise for you over those 4 years.
I definitely feel like more confidence in myself, definitely as far as growth, because I used to like be so scared, didn't like competing at all. I would practice all the time, but I like never wanted to compete a meet ever. And then I got here my freshman year, and like everyone was like, "You're good, like you should like really believe that." And I never did. I was just like, "Yeah, whatever, we're just doing this for fun. Like it's really not that serious." But I would get upset like if I didn't do good. So I was like, "Okay, I am good, but like I really have to like make myself believe it." So it didn't really happen for me until like junior year. I was like, okay, like I kind of believe this. This is kind of fun, like it's not as bad as like I feel like it is competing, and like I had fun with it. So it was like my floor routine. I used to be so shy, had no like expression, no nothing. Like I was just like this the whole time. I was like terrified. And then all of my teammates got on me all the time about it. And they're like, you need to do something. But I was just like, that's just how I was. I was like, I don't know if I can do that. And then it just happened. Like at a meet one time, I was joking around with one of my teammates. And they're like, smile, you won't. I think it was Sarah, actually. We were playing around. And she was like, come on, like just do it for fun. Like you might look silly, but it's really funny. Do it. I was like, okay, whatever. Like I guess I'll do it. So, like, I was, like, nervous the whole time, and I was like, I probably look so stupid, like, I probably, like, look crazy out there, but, like, everyone told me after that it was good, so I would definitely say growth and, like, definitely mental toughness has gotten a lot better.
So, is the vault's, like, power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is floor, like, a combination of power and expression?
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say you had power to begin with, and then you developed the expression part later on then?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's your favorite routine? Okay, and which one? You could pass it to your teammate if you wanted.
Favorite routine on like floor or like event?
Event. Sorry.
Okay, I would say my favorite event is vault for sure. It's a lot easier, it's quicker, you just get it over with, because all you have to do is run at a stationary object and like just flip and you're done. Like I like the concept of that. So it sounds crazy, but I like that concept.
And which one is your least favorite?
Probably bars or beam. I just get a little scared. I don't know why, I just get scared.
Yeah.
All right. So Jay, 4 for 4, right? Going to regionals.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. I don't know how they overlooked you at 8th grade, but good thing they did for ISU, right?
I wasn't very good back then.
You were a late bloomer?
Yes, I was a late bloomer.
Yeah. So, for someone that's been at regionals 4 times, what advice would you give, like the incoming freshmen next year that they're joining ISU?
So many things I could say, but I think maybe never count yourself out of anything, whether that be an event. I think a lot of people kind of come in and they're like, that was kind of beam for me. I was like, I'm not very good at beam, I'm never going to do it. But if you do that, you sell yourself short and you never get to experience these moments. And then same thing, I was like, I could never make it to regionals. Like, I didn't even know what that was. I didn't even realize like how cool that was. And it's just like, just never sell yourself short. Never count yourself out of those incredible moments. Continue to work hard. Like it really, the extra matters. The coming in early for practice, the doing the extra little routines or details, the asking the coaches, what can I do to be better? All that stuff matters, and it adds up. Mm-hmm. Never stop believing in yourself. I know it's cliche, but it really is true.
Absolutely. So, same question. What was your favorite event, and which one's your least favorite?
Yeah, that's kind of a hard question. I think if you would have asked me that 4 years ago when I first got here, I would have been like, floor, hands down. I love floor. I'm okay at it. I'm pretty good at it. I can do it. And I hate beam. I don't like to do beam. I don't score well. I'll never get in the lineup. I'll never compete. But this year, my senior year, I actually competed beam every meet, and I had like a 100% hit rate on beam. So just kind of going back to what I was saying, like don't ever count yourself out. And I think now I don't even think I have a least favorite event. I believed in myself. I kept trying. I kept pushing, and it got better. And I would say maybe floor is still my favorite. Kind of what Lonnie was saying, it's where you can kind of combine the expression and the power and show your personality the most. So, yeah.
The balance beam looks scary to me.
It's very scary.
You're just
Very
confirming it. Awesome.
Yes. but fun mostly.
All right, I have a team question.
Yeah.
Explain to us the conference, right? Because it's a little different. I think every other team is in the Missouri Valley. You are actually technically not. You are in which conference?
It's called the Midwest Independent Conference.
And name some of the Midwest Independence Conference. Name the teams in those conference.
Yeah, so it's us, CML, Southeast Missouri State, Texas Women's University, and then Centenary College, I think. Their university.
Lindenwood used to be
Yeah.
in, but their program got
cut.
signed off last year.
Yeah, and so basically all of us, those teams are just basically like all of the whole school is like in the MVC, or I think CMO is like in the OVC, and most of the schools in the MVC don't have gymnastics, so it's like,
Right,
okay, where
right.
do we go? We kind of, form our own little conference.
And that's why I kind of asked that question, right? We want to help people understand, right, what you're competing against, right? Because everybody would assume you're in the Valley, and that's just not how it always works. So, yes.
So
Very
Texas
cool.
Women's is like Bradley?
Is that your big
It used to
rival?
be
There you go.
Lindenwood,
It used to
but
be Lindenwood,
now
yeah.
it's Texas Women's.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to ask, what is your plans for after graduation? Because this Saturday is a big day for, I'm assuming all three of you are walking this Saturday, correct? Yes. All right, Jay, you're first.
Yeah, so I graduate this Saturday, and then in the summer I'm doing a summer internship at an interior design firm, and then I'm actually coming back to school just to do academics, no gymnastics for my 5th year. But I do plan on, being there for the team in some way. I'm not sure if that looks like a volunteer coach or a manager or something like that, but I still want to stay involved.
Very cool. And so what are you going to do when you come back?
I'm getting my graduate degree in interior design. Yeah.
Master's degree, right?
yeah.
Okay, yep, thank you. Just asking, right? I didn't know. So, very cool. Sarah, what are you doing?
I will be doing a 5th year of gymnastics, but I am transferring for it. So I will be doing that somewhere else and getting my master's degree in something to help me in PA school. That's
PA
that.
school?
PA school. Very cool.
Yes.
Lana, what are you doing?
I am actually doing my internship in Virginia for the Coastal Plain League, and I'll be doing that for the whole summer. So,
Very cool. All right. Thank you for being on. This is where we get into closing. So, Jay, you're up first. Closing.
Yeah, I would just kind of like to shout out my parents. Thank you for everything, helping me get to this point. I wouldn't be here without you guys. And shout out to my coaches and teammates for always being there and supporting me. And then an extra special shout out to the Fab Five. I literally don't think I could have done this journey without them. They've made it so special, so incredible. It's been awesome to have them by my side.
I would like to shout out my parents as well. I would not be here without them, and especially kind of being a first-gen college student, they've been with me every step of the way, so I cannot thank them enough for everything they've done for me. Also my siblings, because they have been the best. My brother likes to think he's my coach, so just them. Obviously my coaches and my teammates here, I would not have had all the opportunities and kind of awards and shout outs that I've had without them. And then obviously the Fab Five. I could, oh man, I could get emotional.
Sarah's gonna start crying.
Without them, we wouldn't have been able to accomplish half of the things we have as a team. So, Fab Five forever.
But who's the other two people in the Fab Five? You guys?
Maya Robinson and Julia Heiner. They're actually
They're
sitting right
here,
next to us.
They've been listening.
Yeah.
I would like to take the time to shout out my parents just for sacrificing so much, especially in college, making every meet they possibly could, especially being so far away. And they were definitely my best friends, and they definitely got me so far, and love them. And I would also like to shout out my friends, my teammates, and my coaches for playing such a big role in like my experience and getting me here, and I'm very grateful for them. And of course the Fab Five, because we're just amazing.
Yeah, also too, going off of that, I want to shout out the Fab Five parents. I think,
Yes.
because of, the close group that we created, our parents got to have a family too, and I think we were there for each other in so many different ways. When some parents couldn't make something, we all stepped up and stepped in. So I think that was something that was really special that came out of this.
You don't get that often.
No,
so.
you don't.
No, you don't. Grab your two Fab Five, bring them on.
Get on here, girls.
Come on, girls.
Yay.
Come on, guys. Fab Five forever.
Yes.
All right, this has been episode 70 with Sara, Alana, and Jaye. Thank you so much. Steve, hit it. No, it's Jon.
John's going to hit it. That's good. Thanks.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Bird Fans Forever, your go-to podcast for all things Redbirds. If you're fired up about Redbird athletics and want more interviews, game breakdowns, and behind-the-scenes buzz, slam dunk that subscribe button. Stay in the loop and rep your Redbird pride every week.